My name is Enolia, and this is my challenge is the difference between therapy and life strategy. I think it's very important to know this difference because therapy ended up to be today some kind of fashion, and people expect to resolve their problems going to therapy. And when these expectations are not met, and I'm going to talk about why they're not met, when they believe that their problem cannot be solved, and when they keep trying to solve the problem, and they fall into deeper depths of deep emotional wounding, depression, anxiety, and so forth. Let's talk a little bit about therapy, considering that I was a psychologist in my 20s, a depressed psychologist indeed, and suicidal. But I was a psychologist looking, of course, for solutions to the authority, right? The psychological society at that time, over 20 years ago, it was the authority of the matter. Today we have a bunch of psychologists, therapists, counselors, all kind of stuff that are supposed to be trained in children's psychology and relationships and all that. But what I have seen is that that's not what it happened. And if you don't believe me, take a course. Take a college course about psychology. Because my son just took a course about psychology and come to me as mom, everything you taught me, there is nothing there. Like I know because I was the one who learned it too. I was looking for answers. Why? There are no answers in therapy. Because the model of therapy is very different than providing answers. It's about talking. It's a passive way of somebody sitting there and listening. And if you can do it, don't put it. I have learned in my experience that complaining gets you nowhere. But talking about your problem gets you nowhere. And faster and sooner you solve a problem, it's going to get you somewhere. This is what I have learned. But we have clients that come from therapy after 12 years. And they come to me and say, oh, I've never was told what you're teaching me. I'm like, because that was not the model. Therapy is used for somebody to sit there and listen to you, not to give you insights, not to tell you what to do. Maybe to suggest here and there. But guess what? If most people never overcame situations like depression or anxiety, they don't even know how to get you out because they never experienced it. What is more perplexing is that a lot of psychologists and therapists are depressed. Some of them, they don't even know it. Other ones, because of what they are taught, like I was, believe that it's not even a way out. So if it works for you to go and talk about the problems over and over again, that's fine. Did not work for me. What worked for me is life strategy and what I teach today. I don't sit there and listen to people's problems. And yes, we have a lot of clients who specifically with their children is like, take my kid and talk to my child. I'm like, no, it doesn't work. Okay. I know what your child needs. We, both of us, we're going to teach. Oh, my children don't listen to me. No problem. I'll teach it. You talk to them about the lesson. Because you're the parent and you need to have a great relationship with your child. Your child doesn't have to listen to strangers. Because today they listen to a stranger, tomorrow they're getting tied up with a narcissist and somebody that ends up to tell them that they love them when actually it's a codependent relationship or an abuser. After tomorrow, it's going to be a gang member, it's going to be drugs or alcohol, and it's going to keep on going when they don't trust a parent. This is what happens all the time. So, life strategy gives you the actual answer. What's your purpose in life? How to behave with people. There are 4 types of men, 4 types of women. How will you feel when you're hurt? How will you feel when you're happy? What you should practice with 17 mind traps that keep people in suffering. There are 17 love traps out there. All the secrets of life. But some people, like me, were looking for them for decades. Other people never, ever learned them, like my mom. We give them the exact lesson. And then we say, okay, now you got to practice. I don't feel like, I don't know if I can. No, you actually have to practice it. If you want to change your life, you have to practice those skills. We attract to Anti-Depression Institute people who have tried everything. They have seen it doesn't work. And hopefully, a lot of times, not all the times happens, it's not too late for them to decide to make changes in their life. Sometimes they come to us at the age of 70. It's quite late. They make it, but it's quite late because there is a lot of resentment towards yourself that you have lost decades of your life in pain, in suffering for no reason. So this is the difference between what we do and therapy. Therapy works for you, fine. We only work with people who really want to take action and they want to get themselves out. And I emphasize on get themselves out with the right strategy because you can't run to somebody to save you every time you have a challenge. We are helping you with the first challenge. Maybe we give you some insights for the second one. But at some point, you need to teach yourself or your child, if you have a child, how to handle themselves challenges, not to run to somebody. Save me. I need to talk to someone. I don't know what to do right now. By the time you get out of a program from Anti-Depression Institute, you have all the formulas. Okay, you're going to forget 50%, but you're still prepared 50%. It's better than be prepared 0. So this is what we do, and this is the difference, and this is how we change lives. And I thought I have to put out there this difference because everybody thinks we're some kind of therapy that are going to listen to people and their problems since childhood, not realizing that there are a few problems that people have. It's just a different story. It's just a different story. And most of the times, 90% of the times, learning relationship skills with yourself and others, emotional balance, and mental strength will break through any bad story that has encountered, that has happened to a person or a child. This is the difference between making it out there or being broken. And I give all the time examples of people who are out there in the public eye. Don't you think that they have an identity crisis at age of 12? Don't you think that they have issues and problems and challenges in life? How they handle them? What is their formula? Maybe it's different than mine that I teach. But their formula, whatever it is, it works. And that's the difference between a child who will get lost into a lost adult later on in life and a child who has all the mindset to go through everything in life. And I'm just going to give you a simple example. One of my biggest challenges that I have had after overcame depression was dealing with cancer. And at some point, I was sitting there contemplating, how long do I have to live? And I said, okay, I found other ways of defeating depression. Aren't there other ways of defeating cancer? Can I use the same formula that I use for depression to use it to live? Very simple. It's time to live, not to live in a mental suffering, just to live, period, to survive. And I succeeded with the same formula to beat cancer within 3 months. Now, my son, who was between the ages of 16 and 17 when this happened, thinks right now that cancer is beatable in 3 months because I did it. And all my friends were like, are you going to tell him that you did it, but it doesn't mean that he can do it or anybody else can do it? I said, no, because it's a great mindset. The mindset is 90% of beating a challenge. If you're afraid of dying tomorrow, and if you're not mentally strong and emotionally balanced, you won't make the right decisions for you to survive. And this is the difference. This is the difference in preparing somebody for life as a child or getting lost out there and maybe never finding your way. That is the difference. And this is life strategy. And this is what we teach. You want to complain to your friends, to another therapist, to whatever, fine. Complain about it. We show you how you can resolve your own challenges. You in? We're not, because it's your life. If you're not in, nobody can force you. You're listening to My Challenge is podcast with Anna Lanier. If you have a challenge in life, and if you would like to get your answer for free, make sure you go to mychallengeis.org for your free answer.